Toxic people seem to create unnecessary drama. They are frequently the driving factor behind a conflict, they lower workplace morale, and they have a detrimental impact on the emotional well-being of people who must cope with them. Some are blissfully unaware of their harmful impact on those around them, while others appear to gain satisfaction from causing havoc and pushing other people's buttons. The worst part is that it can be tempting to treat toxic people in the same way that they treat others. This, of course, never works. They aren't capable of much self-reflection, and turning the tables simply serves to make them regard themselves as victims. The following approaches, which are often used by intelligent individuals, are the greatest way to deal with difficult people. Before starting the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, there is this 30-day program that's designed to teach you a unique meditation technique that took people from $0 to $1 million and start their online business. If interested, the link will be down in the description. Now, let's start the video. Number 1. Establish boundaries. Complainers and pessimists are terrible news. They wallow in their issues and want others to join them in order to feel better about themselves. People are frequently under pressure to listen to complainers in order to avoid being perceived as insensitive or disrespectful. However, there is a narrow line between offering a sympathetic ear and becoming engulfed in their bad emotional spiral. You can only avoid this by creating boundaries and separating yourself when required. Consider this: if the complainer was smoking, would you sit there all day inhaling secondhand smoke? Most likely not. You'd step back, and you should do the same with complainers. Number 2. Set boundaries. This is an area where most people undervalue themselves. They believe that because they work or live with someone, they have no control over the mess, which is completely false. Once you've figured out how to soar above a person, you'll notice that their conduct becomes more predictable and easier to understand. This will enable you to think clearly about when and where you must tolerate them, and when you do not. If you let things happen naturally, you will invariably find yourself in tough conversations. You can, however, manage much of the mayhem if you create boundaries and select when and where you will encounter a problematic individual. Number 3. In some cases, ignore. Before you use this technique, you should think about a few things. You must understand the dynamics of ignoring a poisonous individual. A toxic person demands attention all the time, even when the purpose is to honor another person or their accomplishments. They will become agitated and will interrupt others. That being said, if you want to ignore them, make sure there are plenty of other people about, because ignoring them may not work if you've been submissive to the toxic person for a long time and find yourself alone with them. You can only ignore toxic people in public because they tend to mask violent response in public, making them less likely to grow enraged by being ignored. Number 4. Do not disclose secrets to gossipers. Toxic people will share deep secrets with others just to appear interesting for a brief moment, and they will frequently judge or gossip about others behind their backs. If you come across someone who does this, don't be tricked into thinking they're gossiping with you because they like or trust you. They will betray your trust just as readily. Toxic people will frequently talk about someone to you in the hopes that you will agree with them. They will then go inform the other individual what you said. This causes conflict between two people, putting the toxic person in charge. Don't fall for it. It's a divisive and deceptive strategy of obtaining friends or authority in a social group. Number 5. Recognize and ignore insults. Toxic people enjoy insulting others, and they do so subtly. People like these will try to disguise their attacks as praise. They'll say stuff like, "I'd never have the guts to wear that." Alternatively, "You do well when you try." Although these may appear to be kind words, they plant seeds of doubt in your mind by setting conditions on your ability. Learn to hear the truths hidden within compliments, and then disregard them. You'll know you've matured when you giggle at what they say. But be careful, because laughing tends to irritate them. Number 6. Allow liars to fool themselves. Toxic people frequently lie compulsively, not only to others, but also to themselves. They will frequently engage in mental acrobatics to convince themselves that their lies are true. True events are generally easy to recount, while lies are extremely difficult to keep up with. It's tough to keep track of a multitude of made-up stories, And liars wind up exposing themselves over time by contradicting themselves with additional lies. Number 7. Don't be a victim of pity. Pity is another sort of manipulation used by toxic people. They even make their victims feel horrible for ultimately defending themselves. Intelligent people can distinguish self-pity and the specific way that poisonous people employ it. I'm not saying it's bad to feel sorry for yourself from time to time, but I am saying that toxic people exploit it as a way to reclaim control. They will continue to blame others for all of their problems as long as someone is prepared to listen to them. Avoiding self-pitying people and refusing to rationalize their indifference will save you from falling into their world of self-perpetuating failure. Number 8. Refuse to be a victim of bullying. While most decent people will help the helpless, defend the vulnerable, and help those in need, toxic people will prey on anyone they perceive to be weak. Someone who is shy, socially awkward, or lacks physical prowess could be the candidate. Toxic people will bully and exploit anyone they believe will not stand up to them, which is why it is critical to stand up to bullies not just for yourself, but for others around you. Taking a stand against bullying is possibly the most crucial method to deal with a toxic person. Number 9. Be aware of your emotion. You can't stop someone from pushing your buttons if you don't notice it when it happens. Emotional distance takes knowledge. You will occasionally find yourself in situations where you will need to regroup and decide the best route to proceed. When interacting with a toxic person, it is critical to examine and understand your emotional condition. This way, if you're feeling particularly tense, you can avoid making contact rather than being forced into a reaction you'll later regret. Number 10. Concentrate on solutions, not problems. When something goes wrong, toxic people are generally the first to point the finger. They do this to avoid having to make any effort to correct the wrong. It's simple to detest things and blame individuals, but it's much more difficult to make changes. Intelligent people will avoid the power of a toxic person by seeking a solution to a problem rather than focusing solely on the perpetrator. When you help to make anything right, whether you had anything to do with it or not, it demonstrates that you are caring, protective, and loyal, and this will always triumph over poisonous people. Number 11. Suppress negative self-talk. You can sometimes absorb other people's negativity. There's nothing wrong with feeling horrible about how someone is treating you, but your self-talk can either amplify or alleviate the negative. Negative self-talk is unreasonable, needless, and counterproductive. It throws you into a downward emotional spiral that is tough to recover from. Make a deliberate effort to avoid negative self-talk at all costs. Number 12. Maintain a goal-oriented mindset. People that are toxic can be highly distracting. When they create drama or cause problems, they can lead you to lose mental and emotional focus. Make every effort to shake it off. Instead, continuously directing attention back to your purpose or the problem at hand. Toxic people can be many things, but the majority of them are not foolish, and once they discover you are not influenced by them, they will usually back off. What are your thoughts? How do you deal with challenging and poisonous individuals in your life? Please let us know in the comments section below. If you loved this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, so that we may continue to make them. For more videos like this, click the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Also, make sure to check out our other videos. Thank you for tuning in.